Greetings everyone, my name is Tony Holowitz. Thank you for being here for this tutorial. One of the questions I get a lot recently is what are some ACT CRM alternatives? And one of the reasons I'm getting that question more often recently is because ACT has gone to a subscription. We have people that are looking for alternatives because maybe they're retiring, maybe they're looking for a different option, or maybe they just want to know how to get their data out of ACT in a safe manner. So one of the things that I'll suggest to you is this. When you have ACT CRM, you can export your data from the fields. You can export all of your data from any of the fields out to an Excel spreadsheet. But if you look at this contact, you'll notice all of these are fields and all this information is exportable. And the way you do it is simple. In the list view of ACT, after looking up all your contacts, what you want to do is come over to the right-hand side where it says Customize Columns. Now I'm in the cloud version, and there's some slight variations when you use the desktop, but it's the same basic concept. You want to take all of your fields over here on the left, and you want to shoot them out to the right so they all appear in this list. Now a lot of them will be off the screen, you won't see them. But once you do that, and I'm not going to do this, I'm just going to suggest that you can click on the double arrows and it will throw everything over there. Once you do that, you can then come up to the Contact Actions in ACT Premium Cloud, and you can export all of the information out to an Excel file or a file that you can open in Excel. So now all of your field data you have in a spreadsheet. So that's the first step. The second step is when you are done with that part of it, I'm going to go to this contact, my fake contact, and I want you to observe down below. We have activities, opportunities, history, notes, and documents. Most of this information is underlined so that you can't export that. Yeah, to be honest with you, that's one of the things about ACT software and all these software programs, that if you have your data either in a cloud version of ACT or the desktop or any other alternative competitor, they sort of protect their data to a certain degree because the only way you can access all of it is to have the software. In this case, if you have ACT desktop software and you're not paying a subscription, in the future you'd have to pay a subscription. Now keep in mind, when you pay a subscription, you can have ACT Premium Cloud or ACT desktop software or a combination of both. But that's the nature of the software. It has been that way for years. So what you have the ability to do is you can go up and click on Reports, and there's all kinds of reports in here. What you want to do is determine what information is relevant to you. I would recommend the Notes and History report, maybe the Activities report. But the point being this, when you have all this information, you can get it out of ACT in a variety of ways. It might be separate, but it will be there. These reports that normally you think, hey, I'm going to print out a report, well, that might be rather extensive. You have tons of information. And what you can do is save those reports as a PDF, which is searchable. So for example, if you needed to go find information about fake contact, you could go and search through that PDF and find information. Is it a perfect system? No, it's not. But it's a system that makes it so you can take your data with you if you're thinking about an alternative. Now, you might not be able to import that data easily, but you have your data for historic record. So that's one option. The other thing is when you come over to the right-hand side and you start looking at the calendar and task list, well, the calendars and task lists are things that you can export as well. I'm not going to go into that here, but you can export this information out to an Excel file, and I'll talk about that more maybe in a later video, or honestly, the best thing to do is reach out to me and ask me some questions. So when I get the question about alternatives to ACT, it's generally because either they don't understand the things you can do with ACT and they think something else is better, or they're trying to move away from ACT, or they're retiring and they don't want to pay a subscription fee. You can also have your data professionally exported into an Excel file that might be more importable, but once you start looking at the cost, it might be cheaper just to keep ACT running for a little while. So you have a lot of options here. This isn't a complete answer, but I want to touch on some of the things that you're going to be confronted with as a CRM user in this day and age, regardless if it's ACT or if you're using something else in the cloud. How do you walk away with all your data? That's always a great question to ask. And moving forward, something you need to consider. Another thing I'll throw out there just before leaving this video is, as an Act software consumer, if you have Act Premium Cloud and you decide to sell your business or sell your data, and some people don't think about this, but is there a value to your data, is something you could sell, you have that data in the cloud, and basically you can just transfer that account to the buyer of your either business or your Act data. So that's another consideration as well. Okay, my friends, you have a great day. I hope you're well and be good. Bye now. Thank you.